Hi, ladies. Did everybody have a good lunch? Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, that's so funny. She's like, can you meet me at 4? And I'm like, for what? She goes, well, scissors? I'm like, oh, no, you do not want me cutting her hair. Now, I can tell her how to dress and if her hair looks good, but don't give me any scissors. Excuse me. Anyhow, thank you all so much for being here. How do you like San Diego? A little bit cold today. I can't believe it's cold for you guys. It's been like 88, 90 degrees for the past week. And so, we've been having the heat wave. I'm from Florida, so everybody thinks that's really hot. But, I'm digging on the 88. Yeah, you're from Florida too? Yay! Anyhow, I'm here to talk today about technology and the muck around technology. My book is How to Master Your Muck, and one of the chapters talks briefly about technology, but they wanted me to really delve into it and help you with tools that I can give you so that you can walk away and hopefully remove some of the technological muck that you have in your life. Bing, 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 bing. You've got mail. You've got mail. Remember how that used to be a really good thing? It's like, oh, I got mail. And now it's like, oh, I've got mail. Right? Not only do we have emails, we have texts, we have Skype, we have voicemails. What else do we have? We have more. Oh, pop-up things. Ooh, okay, I'm going to talk about those pop-up things. And, what? Tweets. Yes, we have tweets. Oh, we have Facebook. I mean, I swear, it's just crazy. I work in a home office. My husband is in a home office. We're 2 floors apart. If I don't have on Skype, he's upset with me. So I'm like, this is so much overload. Okay, I have emails, I have voicemail. Can't you just yell down the stairs or what? No, he wants to Skype. So this is what happens to us. We have all this information just coming at us over and over and over. It's like, stop. So I'm going to give you some techniques, hopefully, to alleviate a little bit of that mayhem. The common challenges that I see with my clients as a professional organizer are in technology is they're overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is the big thing. There's so much technology, we really don't know what to do with it. How do I organize all this information? How do I organize all this data? I've got data all over my computer. I have no idea what to do with it or let alone where to find it. How do I store it? Where do I put it so I can find it and retrieve it? How do I find it? And then, oh, yeah, someone wants that report or someone wants that PDF. How the heck am I supposed to share it? Do you want me to share it via Facebook? Do you want me to share it via Skype? Do you want me to share it via email? What's your chosen manner? I mean, this is getting a little bit crazy, folks, don't you think? It's technology, and no one's really training us how to deal with it right now. So we're just like winging it and hoping that we come up with the right solution. But at the same time, it's very overwhelming for me and for everybody. All you have to do is hit one button, right? I remember when I first started using computers years ago that if something messed up on my Mac, it was always one stupid little button. And I'm like, what button did I push wrong that caused this mayhem? And I used to get those bombs. Who's here a Mac user? You seen the bomb? The bomb is not a good thing. With PC, I don't know what it is, but when you see the bomb, it has literally a little fuse with sparks coming off of it. You're in deep doo. And at that point, I'm like, what button did I push wrong? So the computer's saying, yeah, right, no way. So this is the thing. We can run, we can train, we can go as fast as triathlete, but we will never, ever, ever catch up with the speed of technology. Doesn't happen. We try, though. We try our best to gather all the data, to do the instant message, to do the text. But the thing is you have to realize is that it's never going to happen unless we're the bionic woman, and I don't even think the bionic woman or the bionic man would be able to do it either. Because, information is the speed of light. Sticky notes. Who has sticky notes on their computer? Who has more than 5 sticky notes on their computer right now? Who has more than 10? Who has more than 15? Book for you. We're going to talk about sticky notes. Do you know that there's actually a sticky note program that you can put on your laptop? Have you ever used that? It's kind of cool. I used to use it a bunch, but then I got too many, and then I like totally lost my way again. But anyhow, watch out for the sticky notes, because what happens is they fall off in inappropriate places, and they end up on the floor on your shoe, and you're walking around with your notes on your feet oftentimes. I know this because I see this happen with my clients. This is a client, speaking of sticky notes. He's one of my news producers of Fox, and they called me in to help him because this was his desk. And you see he loves his sticky notes. And, he's in a thoroughfare, okay? So his desk is not in like some big executive module, even though he's the executive producer. So what happens is he has all these people come and drop stuff off. Authors want to be on the news, so they'll give him a book, or there's magazines or whatever. And so people are dumping stuff on him. But even without people dumping stuff on his desk, he still had a few issues, known issues. So they called me in to do a news segment, and actually in 5 hours, we worked and got it to this. And there he is, all happy. But and you can find that online too on my YouTube channel. If you want to see what happened with it, you just go for news producer's desk. It's really kind of funny. But really, what it came down to is figuring out what all this information was, and I'll talk more about that, and how to contain it and what we can get rid of. Because that's really the main thing, is we have all this information, but half the time we don't really know what to get rid of or have a strategy to get rid of it. So you see he's still allowed to have a few sticky notes. That was a big caveat for him. So we have different types of files right now. We have emails, we have documents, we have mobile files, and we have photo files. These are basically the 4 big types of files that we have, and we need a strategy for containing each one of those types of files, and not only containing it and confining it, but being able to relocate it later, right? So from an organizing 101 perspective, and by the way, my national association is called NAPO. It's the National Association of Professional Organizers. I don't know, has anybody heard of us? We're pretty strong, and we're about 8,000 people strong, and I'm a board certified professional organizer. We actually have certification in organizational systems, and we're working on getting organizing in the schools. I seriously think that Organizing 101 should be a college prereq. Just like Budget 101 should be a college prereq. Seriously. I mean, come on. We got to catch up with the industry. But we really need organizing. So right now we're in middle schools with our organizing programs, and we're hoping to make it a prereq. But anyhow, the basic, that's why I'm calling it Organizing 101, okay? So the very first thing that you need to do anytime you organize anything is gather everything together, like with like. Okay, so gather it all together. So let's go as simple as documents on your computer. You don't want them spread all over the place. You want to gather them all together, and then you want to group them into categories that make sense to yourself, and then that's a broad sort. And then you want to sort them into maybe smaller subcategories. Then you label. Only until you've really gathered them and grouped them and sorted them and divided and conquered, so to speak, can you properly label. And labeling, proper labeling, is where you're going to be able to find things and retrieve them later. And obviously then you can locate them. Now, as another organizing principle, and this doesn't really have to do with data, but I want to give this one to you because it's real important. Whenever you create, you guys have all heard of creating homes, right? Have you heard of creating homes? So whenever you're creating, like maybe you have all your, toothpaste, all your toothpaste. You want to create a home for all the extra toothpaste things, right? So creating a home gives all your toothpaste one place to live, but the most important thing is to create a yard around that home. So in other words, if you have 5 tubes of toothpaste and they barely fit in the container that you chose, the system's going to break right away. Right away it's going to break because life happens and someone's going to bring in another tube of toothpaste, so to speak. So make sure that you have a yard around your home so that there's room to grow. Little side note. So I use a system for paper flow management, which I love to use for email and data management because it's all the same. So there's a system called Freedom Filer, and actually the guy who developed it is local, which is pretty cool. He spent 6 years, he's an inventor. He spent 6 years trying to figure out what can a piece of paper be. Any piece of paper that you give me, what categories could it be? Like I could have never done 6 years of this, but that's what he loves, right? So he figured out that a piece of paper will fall into one of 6 categories. It's either going to be something that's in action right now. It's going to be something that's in a policy or an agreement with the world. It's going to be something that is a reference or a resource. It's going to be something that Uncle Sam wants. And what do you think the sixth category is? Trash. If you cannot get it, if it doesn't fall into one of these, I guarantee you, you don't need it. And, yes, permanent. And I'm going to talk just briefly about all these categories because this is interesting, and you can do this with the data on your computer, which is what I do. So permanent records, there aren't very many things that are permanent, which is pretty cool. As an organizer, I love that, okay? Because the only thing that's really permanent, if you look at just personal data, is going to be your medical test results, not the bills, your family history or genealogy, if you have that, your educational records, and guess what? That's pretty much the only thing permanent in your life. Some people have some other, but what happens is 80% of the stuff that goes in our file cabinet never comes out again. So if in the normal file system, I guarantee you, if you're not using a system like Freedom Filer that's a paper trafficking system which gets papers gone and has an exit strategy, 80% of the stuff in your file drawers are useless, worthless information. You don't even need them. Now, because of the Google, if we want to talk about reference and resource papers, because of the Google, generally we don't have hardly any of that either. Because you can generally find any information better, faster, quicker, later online by 100,000. So whenever you're thinking of a reference that you're going to take away from yourself and you're going to put it somewhere, really get serious and have a talk with yourself about, is this document or is this thing that I'm saving as a reference, is it something that I can't find on the Google? And I'm going to talk more about the Google later, the God. But basically, whatever you can find on the Google later, you don't need. Now, there are certain things that are reference and resource that you do want to keep around. And take, for instance, in my life, I have two things that are reference and resource. I actually have three that I can't find. The first one is my astrological chart that someone did for me, right? The second one is this file called Campgrounds, because whenever I go to campgrounds, I actually circle the sites that I want. And I can't find that on later because I've actually been there and said, that's the one with the tree that I want to camp at. So that's something I can't find on the Google. And then the next thing that I have is, my 30-second elevator pitch times 50 because I have zillions of them, right? So those are the things that are the references for me that I can't find online later, but almost everything else, I can find it online. So whenever you're thinking about your documents that you're saving in your computer or in paper, think about that reference section a lot. Because typically that's the muck that makes our file cabinets explode. Obviously, something that Uncle Sam wants is an important document. That would be tax. But what we've done with Freedom Filer and what you can do on your computer, which I've done in my inbox actually, is have tax odd year, tax even year. So when I'm getting receipts of paid invoices, you paid this invoice, I put it in tax even because it's 2014. And then if I had, the year is what really messes you up, like right whenever the transition happens. Because you could be in January and you could still be getting stuff from last year. So having that odd year, even year file system on your computer and in your papers is really good. It keeps things from commingling. That way when it comes tax time, you're not just going, wow, I've got like 5 years of taxes all in one pile. What am I going to do, right? So at least if you walk away with keeping them odd year, even year, that's a wonderful thing. And like I say in my inbox, I actually have tax odd, tax even. And whenever it comes around to odd again, I'm going to just take all those files and throw them into tax year 5 on my hard drive. Because it's tax year 3 on my hard drive, because that will be the odd year that's sitting there waiting, okay? Any questions about that? Because it's not really a paper flow session, but I just wanted to talk to you about data. Does it make sense to you how he's come up with this? Okay, it's pretty cool. Yes? Is this something you should do right away if it comes in, or should you do it at the end of the day? I'm just curious what your paper or emails? Emails, I recommend, and I'm going to get into that, I recommend that you check emails at premeditated times for a premeditated amount of time. Otherwise, you're living in your inbox. Okay? So with Freedom Filer, it's by alpha and it's by color. So what Seth figured out is that we remember things by color and we remember things alpha, because alpha was drilled into us when we were little kids, right? So we immediately can go to A through Z. And if we go by color, a lot of us think really very visually. And so each of those 5 categories is a separate color. So in other words, permanent is, what color would you think permanent would be? Red. Red, stop, permanent. Reference is purple because it's fun. Tax is blue, red, white, and blue, Uncle Sam, okay? Action is just gray because it's stuff that you have to deal with. And policies is flashing hazard light orange. And the reason that it's flashing hazard light orange is when you put in something, you're going to take something out. In other words, when you get your new automobile insurance policy, you're going to ditch the old one because it's null and void. I didn't know this. When you get your new Social Security, you're going to throw your old one out because it's null and void. I didn't know that. I thought it was from Uncle Sam. I had like this much before I trained in Freedom Filer. I had no idea because I thought, Uncle Sam gives it to me. But really, last year's doesn't mean anything on what you're going to get for Social Security. This year's is the one that's important. Okay? So it's remove, replace on the policies. Okay. This is how I feel sometimes. Do you guys feel like this? It's like, where is it? They want it now. I can't find it. And then the most important thing to me is, what kind of file was it? Was that a JPEG? Was that a PDF? Was that a movie? Was that what was it? Because there's so many different transpositions of what kind of information it can be. So let's talk about the inbox, because that's the thing right there. This is what mucks us up. The papers in action. I guarantee you, who has piles on their desk right now? I guarantee you that everything that's on your desk in a pile is something that you have to work on. It's something that's in action right now. Or at least that was the start of it all. Okay, the stuff at the bottom is probably stuff that really has to take action, and the stuff on top is maybe stuff you threw there because you were flying out to conference, right? But typically that's what happens. The same thing with your inbox. All the stuff that's sitting in your inbox could be something that you have to take action on. If you've read it, okay, then you're like, oh, I can't get rid of that. Okay, and I'm going to show you some really easy ways to deal with archiving and emails here in a minute. But basically you want to, if at all possible, and it's not a perfect world, you want to read it, you want to either delete it, forward it, add it to your task list, archive it, or respond. Okay, so when people are like, well, I don't have time to do that. Well, guess what? Then you don't have time to go into your inbox. Okay? So the idea is to get out of your inbox. Now, I'm addicted to my inbox. I will admit it. I'm always like wanting to see what's in there because, it could be fun, but it could send me off into la la land, onto the World Wide Web looking at shoes or whatever. But it could be, something that I want to see. So we all get kind of addicted to it. It's a technology addiction right now is what we're up against. And especially because of the World Wide Web and the Google and the inbox. But typically this is what happens. Emails, listen to this. This is huge. If someone emails you, they want something from you. They want you to do something. So guess what that means your inbox is? A taskmaster. If you read an email, it's typically because someone wants you to do something. So, do you want to go into your inbox when you're in the middle of a project? Do you want to go into your inbox when you're not ready to take any type of action? No. But we do. We do it all the time because it's addictive. So my advice to all my clients is check your inbox at premeditated times. I say always check it right before lunch. Maybe check it right before you leave for the day. The reason that I like those times the best, and again, I'm a Dadaist, there's no one way to do anything, okay? So you're all going to figure out your own strategy. But I would challenge you to only go in twice a day. The reason I like right before lunch and right before the end of the day is before lunch, hopefully we're taking lunch, we want to get out of our inbox so that we can eat. Before the end of the day, we want to leave work. So it keeps it short and sweet. I have some clients that it's very difficult that will actually set a timer. We'll say, okay, how long do you feel? And again, it's agreement with yourself, okay? Because again, there's no one way to do it. How long do you feel you should be in your inbox twice a day? Someone will say, oh, an hour. I'm like, okay, that's a lot of responding and taking action, or some people say 15 minutes. Whatever it is, whatever your agreement with yourself is, when you go home, try it and see if you can only get in there twice a day and only be in there like 15 minutes each time. See what happens. Your life is going to open up, and instead of being reacting, because emails and inboxes are reactionary, you're going to be proactive. One of my clients is the Port of San Diego here, and I've had a lot of fun working with them. It's the marketing and communications department, which is very interesting. They have a huge staff, and I've been going pod to pod to pod. And something that I've incorporated throughout that staff is to come up with this little tagline or something of this purpose. So it's a corporate structure and a corporate culture, and I'll tell you what, it works. In order to serve my clients more effectively, I am only checking my inbox at predetermined times. Should you need me immediately, do not hesitate to call. But I'm not going to be living in my inbox, basically, is the moral of the story. It allows you to be very professional. You know, I found a long time ago in my career, I was trying to do everything for everybody when I had an old company and just serve everybody and do everything. And, you know, the biggest sign of professionalism is saying no. And saying, no, I can't do that. So this little email signature is awesome. It totally will liberate you from having to be like you have to be there right then and there. So I would welcome you and challenge you to try this for a little while. Now what happens is the people in your life are going to go, wow, what? You can't do that. What are you doing? I'm going to call her, right? But it takes 4 to 6 weeks to change their wily ways, and it takes 4 to 6 weeks to change your wily ways and to create a new habit. So if you want to try it for like 6 weeks. Give it a 6-week game on, and see what happens. I guarantee you're going to get more done in less time, and you're going to have less distractions. It really, truly works. I've set it in corporations from the O's down, you know, even for assistants, for the admin people. It works, okay? And if the COO or the CFO needs something from his admin, he knows to just go to her or text her or call her, but she's not going to be absorbed in her inbox. Okay, so it really does work. Okay, who here uses Gmail? Okay, Gmail in Google is an amazing tool, and I'm going to delve right into that for you. If you don't have a Gmail address, I highly recommend that you go home and get yourself a Gmail address. And there's a lot of reasons why, but you need to get one, you know, while you can still get something that's not like, you know, Trudy 5678920 or something, you know. Make it something that's fairly much like you with your name, without a bunch of numbers on it like OLs right now. The reason being is because Gmail, when you have Gmail in your inbox and you hit, you never lose anything. You can archive everything. You don't have to save anything anymore, folks. You can search by the name that's in it, okay? So they have a search button, they have a contact management program, they have a calendaring system, they have a document system. It's wonderful. So Google Docs is Word, okay? It's like the Word for Google. I mean, yeah, the Word for Google. And the calendar is awesome. So I actually use Google Calendar to schedule my client appointments. And I love it because I have my Google Calendar, and you can create multiple calendars as well. But I actually, when my client books me for an appointment or for a teleconsult or for whatever they're booking me for, I actually email them right then my calendar event and ask them to accept it. That way, I have recognition that they know that I'm going to be there and that what time that we've set. And it's even cool because it has the address. So if I'm actually driving there for future reference, I can MapQuest it or, you know, Google Map it and know right where I'm going. And then in case of IRS tax stuff, I actually have documentation of where I drove and where I did and who I saw and blah, blah, blah. So it solves a lot of challenges that we have as far as keeping retention of records. So the reason I ask you to get a Gmail address is that I think it's really important that you check all of your emails in one place. So, you know, I have probably 20 different emails, but I only check them in my Gmail account. So it's very easy to redirect any email that you have. You know, mine's Add Space to Your Life. It's my website emails go straight to Gmail. You can redirect any email that you own to Gmail. And the reason that you want to do that is a bunch of different, there's so many reasons actually, but if you, number one, if you see all your emails in one place, you know how many you have. So you remember back to Organizing 101, group, all in one place? That's the idea. If you have emails all over creation, you don't know what you've checked and what you don't, and you're not really on top of your game. And yes, it does include your personal and your business emails all in one place. Now, there are ways to sort it and categorize it. Yes?
I think one of the biggest challenges that I have is with our company stuff, you're on secure servers, and you can't do that. And then it creates an issue between business and personal because I can't seem to get all of my calendars and everything to sync together on all my devices, and so I'm still checking multiple calendars and checking multiple emails in different places all the time.
Are you on Outlook?
Yes.
Yeah. So is Outlook?
Outlook and I have Gmail.
Yeah. Is Outlook mobile? Can you see it mobile remotely?
Yeah, I've got
on your
it
phone?
on my work iPad and work phone, but I can't get my personal stuff to tie to my work stuff and vice versa. And so it's like this constant dilemma of going back and forth between it. I'm sure I'm not the only one in this room.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not. Who has that same problem, this challenge? Yeah, it's a problem. And I actually faced that with Marcom, when I was working with the port, and I'm still working with the port. So all that you can do, if IT will not help you and support you or allow you, okay, then what you need to do is only have two. So every single calendar event needs to go, for business, needs to go in Outlook, every single contact, every single email, and then every single personal thing needs to be in the Google and the Gmail. That's worst of worst, but that's best of best. Because you don't want multiple calendars, it'll drive you insane. Now you can perhaps export your calendar events from Outlook into Google Calendar on the down low, because I've tried that. But yeah, you definitely only want to have two tops. One is the ideal, you know this, one is the ideal. Now, if you're in that situation, and I'm thinking of one of my clients at Marcom, that she had her Outlook calendar, she had her Gmail calendar, and then she had 3 physical calendars in her office as well. And she was actually updating all of them. She had 5 that she was dealing with. So what do you think we did? We got rid of the wall calendar, the desk calendar. We got rid of all the paper because it just was not, and we got it compartmentalized into 2. Yeah, but it's sad. Sometimes ID departments are a little bit more flexed than you think, though. It just, no. Yeah, so there you have it. Keep it down to 2. That way you can get to inbox 0. You actually know that you do have 0 inbox. Okay, Google Docs is a lovely thing, and it's just like Word, except for it's actually easier because you can drag stuff into your Google Doc. You can just drag images in there. You can resize them in a heartbeat. You can do so much stuff with the Google Doc. And then you see that you have all these different folders. You can folder, but what's really cool is you don't even really have to folder because you can do the search, and any doc that has, let's say, the word home in it, is going to pop up and show me all the docs that have the word home in it. Not even in the title. We're just talking in the actual document, which is awesome. What I love also about Google Docs is you can share information. I can be working on a Google Doc and my assistant can be working on the same doc, and I can actually see her edits real time and she can see my edits real time. And it's a collaborative idea. And I actually did get Google Docs to go get passed through Marcom at the port, that they're allowed to actually share the Google Docs. Because it's a collaboration technique, and it's a collaboration tool that works really well. Okay, so let's talk about cloud technology. Does anybody know what the cloud is? Does anybody not know what the cloud is? What's the cloud back there, Miss Book Winner? Yeah. Yes.
There are offline servers that
You go, girl. You go, girl. Look, that's very analytical. Yeah, so basically it's just an offsite, I call it, it's up in the sky. It's just a server that's remote that you don't have to worry about losing anything because it's up there. So anything that you can make, any of your information that you can make cloud-based is for the better. Because that way, if you lose your phone, another reason why I really like, the Gmail and all the Google Docs and stuff, because it's really cloud-based. If I lose my phone or I lose my laptop, I've not lost anything in my company because it's all in the cloud in Google Docs or my Google Contacts, or I can get to my email as long as I have internet connection. So that's what cloud-based technology. It also allows you to really easily transport multimedia files. Because, the more we get technology and, all this stuff like PowerPoints and whatever we have, audios, videos, QuickTime, the bigger the files are, the harder it is to transport, and you can transport through the cloud. So Dropbox is one of the most popular cloud technology programs. And I absolutely love Dropbox. And you can use it for so many different things. But basically, and it's free. You can buy a little bit buffier program. I actually use a free one. My husband has the one that costs a little bit of money. But I can store all my photos up there. I can transfer information, big files, to people. I can save screenshots. Basically, I have a really old Mac, like a MacBook that's like a '08, and I had to get all the stuff out of there because, it's getting there, knock on wood. But I had to get a bunch of stuff off of there. So just putting it into Dropbox was as easy as dropping and dragging right into my Dropbox account. It's cool. Yes?
And there's no limited space here for Dropbox, and you can make it secure too.
Yes. Yeah. Was that a question or a statement?
No, question on the security for cloud. It can be made like even your whole job management system can be secure even though it's in the cloud.
Absolutely. Yes, it can be. It's very secure. A lot of people have problems around security and, are they going to take my information? And it all is password enabled and password coded and encrypted. And so it is safe. The free Dropbox works great for a little bit of movies, some pictures, Word docs, Google Docs, that type of thing. If you're starting to transfer big video files, which is what my husband does with PR Reach, his company, he has to invest the $19 a month for the Dropbox, for the Big Daddy Dropbox account. But it's a great tool, and it's a really easy way for you to get photos and videos and stuff to your loved ones or throughout the department, okay, if you don't have something like that. So check out Dropbox. It's free, and it's so easy, so easy. Now, Skype. There's a bunch of different ways that you can transfer information. I've been actually doing teleconsulting via Skype before I started doing teleconsulting via Google Hangouts, which I'll talk about in a minute. Skype is not just for phone conversations. Skype is incredible, even though I don't want to have it all the time, per my husband. It's great because I can have conversations, I can transfer files, I can send links, I can add multiple people into the phone call. It's a wonderful thing, and again, Skype is free. If you want to add a lot of people into the call, then you need to buy the premium Skype, and again, it's really not that expensive. So you can transfer files, transfer documents. There's so much you can do on Skype. It's just crazy. Remote training, I do teleconsulting and virtual consulting all the time with my clients all around the world via Skype. Works great. Okay, great thing. Conference calls, screen sharing. Oh, see, this is the thing too. Whenever I work on my clients' computers, and they're like, "Well, I don't understand how to organize these files on my hard drive, and I'm not getting it." I'm like, "Show me your computer," and they'll actually screen share their computer, and I'll have them click around, and I'll show them where to go and what to do and how to create file folders. Yes. In the application-based. Oh, yeah, I think so. I haven't used it on my iPad. I have a love-hate relationship with my iPad. Because, the Mac guys keep saying, it's not a computer. I'm like, I just want it to be a computer. So there's limit. I really do. I want it to be a computer so bad. And that's always, every time I come up with a crazy question, that's their answer. So, I have an iPad. And what's cool is that you can actually do PowerPoint presentations on your iPad and stuff. So I travel with it, but it's just not a computer. So I'm not sure, quite honestly, about that. I haven't tried. Yes?
For screen sharing, why would you choose Skype versus Join Me or WebEx?
Because it's just easy. Because it's just a piece of cake. And you don't have to log, you don't have to give them a link. or anything, all I need is their Skype number and I can call them. So it's so easy. Now Google Hangouts is the next generation. And I do a lot of Google Hangouts and I do a lot of Google Helpouts. Okay? So I'm a Google Help Out girl, which means that you can hire me by 15 or 30 or an hour to do teleconsulting and virtual consulting with you anywhere in the world, as long as you can get online. So Google Helpouts is a new thing. Google Hangouts is the same thing, okay? And all that happens is I start a Google Hangout, and I don't put it on air, and I invite whoever I want to come join me on the phone call, and now they have business hangouts. I can have up to 10 people on the same screen all talking. It's a big virtual conference room. Free. Free. Crazy. I can share documents. I can share a screen. And what's great is teleconsulting, as a teleconsultant, it's recorded. So if my client wants to go back and see what I said and what I was talking about and what they learned, they can go back because it's automatically recorded as a YouTube video. And they can play it back anytime they want. They can fast forward, they can rewind, they can, whatever it was that I was spouting off that they wanted to hear again, they can do that. And it's automatically sent as a video.
Can you provide that information for somebody else that wasn't on the call to go in and look at that since it's on YouTube?
Yes, absolutely. 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 I'm doing Get Organized Google Hangouts now on Mondays. And there, actually, I'm interviewing people about organizational stuff, and we're learning a lot about products and I'm learning so much from other people in productivity, and it's all on YouTube. It's all there for anybody to watch at any time. It's so cool, and it's free, and it's pretty much within 5 minutes at the end of the call, it's up at the very most. Yes? Yes. Yes. As soon as I finish the Hangout, within 5 minutes it's live on YouTube. No control. It is what it is. But the control is private or unlisted. So for my training sessions, my teleconsulting, I make them private. It goes to YouTube, but no one can see it. They can see that it's there, but they can't open it. Only my client can open it, because I can share it with my client. It is on YouTube, and it is live, but it's not viewable unless I say that I want it to be viewable. Yes. Yes, you can. You can download it and put it up in Dropbox and have your training there. You can, split apart the audio, have it as a podcast. I mean, there's so much. It's just amazing technology, and it's all very new. I mean, it's new to me. Like in the past year, I've been doing Google Hangouts, and they're fun. So if you have information that you want to share, or you have someone that you want to train from afar, it's a free medium, and it's an immediate video. So what's not to love about that? It's crazy. Okay, task list and reminders. So this is the main thing. How do we keep track of our tasks? And quite honestly, I have to tell you, I struggle with this. What task list system am I going to use? I mean, there's so many choices, and everybody's different, and we all think differently. And so that's why there's so many different mediums, which thank God for that. Because I've been flipping through a lot of them, and I have love-hate relationships, and I'm actually, quite honestly, back in the dating stage with my task management system. I'm trying to figure out which one I really want to go with, because some of them are falling short on some areas. But I'm dating. Eventually I'll marry one of them, right? I was married to Workflowy for a while. But Workflowy is a really good one. Evernote is a really good one. Do It Tomorrow is a really good one. And I'll give you some basics of what these are. So Workflowy is cool. In fact, I just did a whole mind map of my business with Workflowy. Now, why I like Workflowy is that I can add like general thing called marketing, right? And then underneath marketing, I can put all the different ways that I market myself. And then one way speaking, and then I can put stuff underneath speaking, right? I can collapse it all down. I can only look at the word marketing. I can only work at the word speaking. And if I want to look at all the stuff underneath it, I can. So what it does for you is it keeps you from being overwhelmed. Because if I get on, I got a big old Workflowy document, let me tell you, if I opened up everything, I would freak out, because it's just so much information. But this allows me to collapse. So take for instance, this Casbo, okay, that I had a talk. This is just one thing, and then if I were to click on this, it would show like that, all the different stuff about that breakout session. Or I could collapse it and only see the word Casbo. Same thing with the neighbor. So basically it expands and it contracts. It expands and contracts. And that's the beautiful thing about workflowing. And it's easy to drop and drag and rearrange things around. And so it's a really good task list. It doesn't really have a lot of bells and whistles besides the fact, for me, in my opinion, it's collapsible and expandable. So I won't go into overwhelm when I'm looking at big, huge projects. It can also be shared. So take, for instance, I want to share one of these, and I want to share it with my assistant because she needs to do some PowerPoint or something for me. I can actually put hashtag Michelle. In everything that has hashtag Michelle, she's going to see that that's something that I want her to do. Okay, so it's also a task management system for you to delegate. And so you see who you want to delegate to, and if she only wants to see her stuff, she can just go hashtag Michelle, and the only thing that pops up are all her stuff. Cool, huh? Also, when you make changes in your workflow account, you get an email if you want, and they'll send you a summary. Hey, your workflow changed for today. Here's your new task list. This is what we did. And so check it out. There's been some changes made. And you can turn that on or turn that off. Yes?
Similar to Basecamp?
It is, except for this is a free program, and I think it's a little bit less.
Yeah, Basecamp, I think there's a fee for it.
Yeah, there's a fee for it. I've used it. I used it for a big project, and quite honestly, it put me into overwhelm. I had so many players playing in this Basecamp, and people weren't using the same protocol for it within Basecamp, and it just kind of, I still don't even, I need to go back in there. I don't even want to go in there. But that's me, and I'm a simple girl. So some people are more technical than I am. Basecamp didn't work, but it's been proven. A lot of people use it. A lot of people like it, okay? So that's workflow. Any questions about that? The Gantt? I've heard of it. Have you tried it? Did you?
Yeah, I have. I use it for school. That's what they require us to work on our senior classes.
Uh-huh. And did you like it? Did it work?
Some people did find it difficult. I found it.
Okay, good. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I haven't checked into it. Like I say, the world's at our fingertips right now with technology. So, there's so many choices, which is great because we're all different and we're all unique and we all think about things differently and more, some people go into overwhelm quicker, some people don't go into overwhelm. So every program is different. How am I doing on time? Because I'm not even seeing a clock in here. Okay, so we end in like 10 minutes or something. Yeah, because I want to have some questions. Okay, I'll go quick. Evernote's awesome. Evernote allows you to take pictures of recipes, so you no longer have to keep recipes. You can shoot them. It allows you to take pictures of signs. So if you're driving down the road and you see something cool, it allows you to take pictures of or scan in any kind of data you want. You can type in any kind of data you want. It's so multimedia. It's crazy. And what's great about Evernote is any word, now images don't do this, but any word, so take for instance, I have the word asparagus. Any single document or any single thing that I have in Evernote that has the word asparagus is going to pop up for me. So I no longer have to organize my data in Evernote. Free. Excellent program. Check it out. Do It Tomorrow is my new favorite. I'm dating Do It Tomorrow a lot. It's a free app. It's on the phone. It's so dang easy. All it is today and tomorrow. So anything that you don't do today, that you don't cross off, goes on to tomorrow. Very simple task list. Very simple task list. This is where I have to buy eggs and cheese, and this is where I have to run and drop off something. This is my task list. It's on my phone, and it's on my computer. And whenever you write, it goes, and whenever you cross it off, it goes. So for me, it gives me that tactile thing. It's like, because I love, I'm a big list, I'm a writer, so I'm all about lists and writing. So it actually gives me that physical sensation of crossing things off and writing things down, and I love it. And it's either today or tomorrow, and it always has coffee stain on tomorrow. Cute, yes. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Everything goes on tomorrow, tomorrow becomes today. And you can push to tomorrow, but that's as far as you're allowed to push. Your today just gets bigger and bigger, but you can reorganize. You can reorganize and go through it. And yeah, it's cool. It's a really cool, and it's free. And I actually got the port is allowed to do it tomorrow, but they had to do the buy. It's $5.95. They had to get the business edition. They weren't allowed to get the freeware. But whatever. No, you can just reorder. It's a very simple task list. Works great for me for catching that brain fart stuff. It's like, oh, I got to write that down. Write it in my do it tomorrow now instead of a sticky note. Can replace your sticky notes. Yes?
Is there more than one page for the today or tomorrow?
It goes on. Yeah, it can keep going. It can keep going. Yeah, I think it's limitless, which is sad. Mine's over a page now, and I keep thinking I really need to get into my do it tomorrow and cross some of that stuff off. And thank God when I cross it, it goes, No. Simple, basic task list. No reminder, no bells and whistles. Basic, easy. What you see is what you get. But it's free and it's cool, and you should put it on your phone and try it for lists. I don't know if you're familiar with password vaults. Very quickly, everybody should have one. Okay, a lot of people are scared of them. This LastPass is my favorite one. There's several out there. I've been using LastPass for years. All my clients have LastPass. It allows you to save your passwords. It generates passwords for you if you need some crazy, GFEDA 15 underscore blah, blah, right? It generates crazy passcodes, but it saves them. Now, what's really cool is it will automatically fill in for you the complete thing. It'll only fill in password. It will only fill in username. It'll not fill in anything. Their key is it's the last password you need to remember. So you can set LastPass up so that it fills in everything for you. It also fills in your credit card information, your street address. It fills in all the stuff that you want. Like I have my AdSpace credit card stuff, my personal credit card stuff. I have all that, and it can autofill it for me so I don't have to go in and do it every single time, okay? And it lets you, it does as much or as little as you want, okay? So check out LastPass. Again, it's free. Sorry? Cloud-based. Yeah, it's encrypted. It's as safe as the B of A transmission services. So it's Bank of America encrypted. Okay, so the bottom line is I've thrown a lot of tools at you. What you really need to do is make sure that you have a task management system. Again, date. See what you like. You don't have to choose one, but you don't have to live with it forever. You can divorce it and get something else if it doesn't work for you, but try it. You need to have a task management system. You need to have your email inbox system. Again, sadly, you're going to have 2, but keep it to 2 tops. What's your document management system? How are you going to find and retrieve your documents? You need to have that strategy set into place. What's your calendaring system? Again, I love the Google. With Google, you can have multiple calendars on the same calendar, and again, you can only look at one of them, or you can look at all of them overlaid onto each other. Okay, same thing with Outlook. How do you remember your passwords? There's got to be a better way than trying to think or using the same one all the time, and don't make it your pet, and don't use the same one all the time, okay? How are you going to remember those? And how are you going to keep your photos safe and secure, and how the heck are you going to find them? So when you upload all those photos, I please, bare minimum, hope that you're doing some type of broad category each time you upload. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of stuff. Any type of information that's just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff that's not organized is useless. Not only is it useless, it depletes your energy, and it kind of kills your juju because you're just in frustration and overwhelm all the time. So I have a critique form. I would love to hear if there's something that I didn't talk about that you want to know, because I've been doing this technology talk and things change. Please let me know if there's something that you really wanted to know about. I'm also going to give everyone a free copy of this book, The 33 Transformational Tips to Organize Your Life. So if you'd fill that out for me, I'd so appreciate your input a lot. And I have a home office organization online course that's a do-it-yourself, get your life in order course. Actually, I have two. I have one for home and one for office. So that's something that's available. Yes?
Do you have our email ID that you would email the e-copy, or do we have to give
You have to give it to me. Yeah, you have. That's why this sheet, if I don't get it on this sheet, I won't be able to email you. I don't think I can get emails for the tribe. I haven't asked. But basically, and the only reason that I ask for your phone number is if I can't read your writing. I learned to put that on there. So give me your phone number just in case, because my writing gets worse and worse and worse as we go. So anyhow, this course is, for the show special, it's just $97, and it'll help all the systems in your office, is all the information that I give, and systems and education around how to get your life in order in your office. So, if in doubt, ask the Google. The Google has pretty much everything you need online at any time, times 50,000. So don't be scared to use the search button on the Google. You can find pretty much any information that you need on it. And now we have probably just a few minutes for questions. So anybody have anything that they're burning desire to know?
So, the Freedom Flyer?
Yes.
So, I'm sorry, I might have missed it. With the damages and it was filed, accessory deal,
Yes.
talk about how much?
The Freedom Filer system is $35, and I have a show special out there if you buy the book and the Freedom Filer system, which I recommend because all of chapter 1 of this book is all about how to get your papers flowing in. Papers come into our life, but they never have an exit strategy. And the only system I've ever seen in the whole world is Freedom Filer that actually has a built-in exit strategy to get those papers gone when you're done with them. It's a rotational system. Thank God someone came up with it. It took him 6 years. Isn't that weird? Like the most simple things in life take the longest to figure out. But anyhow, it's an amazing system. All of my clients are on Freedom Filer. I highly recommend it. You can't go wrong with it because, again, the guy spent forever trying to figure it out. And there's a show special out there for it. And if you don't want to fly it home, there's brochures that have a discount code and all that stuff. But I highly recommend you get the book and the system because all of chapter 1 is all about the concept behind Freedom Filer and why he's doing what he's doing with it, why it makes sense. But thank you for that question. Any other questions? Yes.
Rehab is anybody who's in shop, auto body shops here, knows that we have cloud-based estimating and business management systems. And a couple of times, our business management system has gone down for the entire day. So the servers have gone down, and I don't know if anyone's ever experienced that, but that's a very terrible thinking in your stomach. Oh my God, I'm gonna die because your entire business is run on these servers. And if that information, not only can you not do your work, but if it's not accessible or it's lost, you're out of business. So I guess my comment is that's the one thing that really scared me about cloud-based technology. Is the fact that it's vulnerable to failure.
Yeah, and what happens with that, I would assume, that's the assume thing. When it goes down, it's a server error as opposed to a programming error. So the server got overloaded or the server got fried or whatever the server happened. So, what I would recommend if it's really that life or death, I know you buy it and they're going to try their best to get it up as fast as they possibly can and blah, 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 right? But if this is happening a lot to you, I would recommend that you save those docs, the important things, put them up in Dropbox. Just as you create them, just send them to Dropbox.
There's not really a way to do that with an estimating system, unfortunately, because the database is so large, and because literally everything is saved on those servers.
Can you print? Can you say print
Yeah,
and then save it as a PDF?
we print things off and we do,
But I wouldn't say print. I'd say go print and then save as PDF and then jam that PDF up in Dropbox. For the really important stuff, I know it's redundancy, but it is a backup way to do it. Yes. Ah. Disaster recovery plan is what he's saying for the servers that drop down a lot. And absolutely, you know, that you definitely need that. So if you're counting on one company to save your tushy, make sure that you have a backup company to double save your tushy, just in case all else fails. Now that's another reason, you know, that I like the Google Doc thing. It's because if there is a flood or if there is a fire or whatever happens, your stuff is safe. Okay, it is in the cloud. It's not going to burn down or have a hurricane or have an earthquake. It's not going to be a disaster. So that for me is disaster preparedness. But I understand when you have proprietary systems, you definitely need a backup. Absolutely, yes. I'm sorry? SkyDrive? Yeah, it's very similar. It's very similar to the Dropbox. Yeah, it's again, a cloud-based thing, and as long as you can access it, you can share, love it. Anything that's like that, you know, we have the technology now and it's free. So why not use it, right? Why not use it? Yes?
Do you cover anything about managing all of your social media?
Managing social media.
Suite and stuff like that?
Yes, yeah, I have a whole, yeah. If you put that on there, that'd be great, and I'll make sure to add a slide or two next time around. Social media is a whole half-day session. I could maybe put it into an hour. All I could manage to do in a breakout session is a slide, unless I was hired to do a social media. But that, you know, again, it's all consuming. And again, you don't, you know, the main thing I can say as a professional organizer, you don't want to have Facebook on in the background. You don't want to have your emails on in the background. You don't want to have anything on in the background when you're working. Did you know that you need a 4-hour block of time to get a project done? So if you don't have one 4-hour, this is my nugget for you to take away, gang. If you don't have one 4-hour block blocked in every single one of your weeks, you will never get your big project done. If your big project is getting way late and way late and way late, I guarantee you it's because you don't have that 4-hour block of time. So if you can do nothing else, make yourself that 4-hour block and stick to it. And again, it's a 4 to 6 week thing where all the banshees and all the people in your office are going to be interrupting. I mean, I have this one of my clients, he has a wizard hat. And when he puts on his wizard hat and people know he's not allowed, they look in and he's wearing that Mickey Mouse wizard hat, they know they're not allowed to interrupt him because he's in big brain stuff. So whatever it takes to protect your time and to keep that 4-hour block, please go for it and make sure that that way you can reach your dreams. That way you can get your promotion. That way you can get that big thing done that's always looming in the background, okay? So any other questions? I don't know, are we good on time or? 10 till, so we need to go, right? Thank you guys so much. I so appreciate your time. I'm gonna be out there signing books. And I have books and courses and all sorts of stuff, and I'd love to answer any individual questions. If you'd pass in your critique sheet, really appreciate that, and I'll make sure that you get a copy of this book. You'll get it within, very quickly, you'll get it emailed-wise. And again, I'll never call you unless I can't read your daggone writing, which does happen. Thank you.